Confidence is very important for small business success. How can your clients and the people that you want to work with have confidence in you if you don't have confidence in what you're doing and what you're selling? And whether that's a manufactured, fake it till you make it kind of confidence, or confidence that's rooted in the fact that you're doing something that you truly believe in, it's been successful in both kinds of ways. Having a dependable network around you as a small business owner is important to make sure that you always have the resources available to help you in any situation you run into. Whether it's a business problem or an opportunity, you need to have different people who may share the same business philosophy as you, but who have expertise in completely different industries. And having that kind of network to bounce ideas off of, help tackle problems and solve them from different angles is invaluable to have at your fingertips. I mean, when it comes to running a small business, I mean, the point is you want to make money. And while you may have a really ambitious, benevolent mission to why your company exists, at the end of the day, you're not going to be successful unless you are at least somewhat profitable. And one of the best ways to stay profitable is to keep your overhead down. Overhead is all the expenses that you have to pay just to keep the doors open. A lot of times these are fixed costs. It's rent, it's utilities, it's administrative staff. And a lot of time those expenses don't necessarily grow as your company is growing. So lots of times it's a cost category that you can actually control and actually help you become more profitable. There are a lot of ways to keep your overhead costs down. I mean, one is simply making good decisions about where you're putting your money. Make a budget. Make sure you're not spending too much on indirect expenses that aren't actually driving your business forward. But sometimes the answer is just a little bit of sweat equity. A lot of time business owners wear a lot of different hats to keep things going, sometimes even doing their own accounting. And while that may be a good way to keep overhead costs down, you have to know when it's best to step back and hire someone to do this work for you. Otherwise, it could hinder your growth. Having accurate financial information is absolutely critical to running a small business. A lot of small business owners think that they're running their business by looking at their cash account and seeing if they still have money in the bank. That may keep you alive and keep your business surviving, but you will never thrive and you will never be able to make any actual meaningful financial decisions if that's the only way that you're running your business. Not only do you have to have accurate financial information, you have to have it on a timely basis. It doesn't do you any good to have a good set of old information. You can't make any decisions off of that. If you don't have access to accurate financial information, it's important to use a CPA firm like ours who provides outsourced accounting services to fill that need for you. So many times I've heard stories from small business owners who lost control of their business in some way, and it usually happens to the finances of a company. Either they don't trust themselves to do accurate accounting, or they think it's easy and that anyone can do it, but whatever happens, they end up in a situation where someone else is running the finances of a business and they've lost control. They don't know how anything happens, and that's just a recipe for disaster, whether it's because of actual fraud, someone stealing money from them, or simply because they don't have that accurate information for them to make some important business decisions. It's important to have checks and balances in place at your company. You don't have to be doing all of the day-to-day activities to be able to have control. You just need the right processes and procedures in place so that you can see the information that you need to see when you need to see it. There are other aspects of your company that you can lose control over. For a lot of businesses who have a mission statement, there's a intentional direction about where they want the business to go and how they want to get there. The end doesn't always justify the means. And having control over the direction of your company, the mission, the message that's going out there can sometimes be lost in transition between the owner that created that vision and the people who are actually at the company trying to execute it. And it's really important to control the message, the culture, the spirit and heart and soul of your company to make sure that ultimately your small business is successful at fulfilling the vision that you've created. As confident as you are, as good of a network as you have, as profitable as you are, with the best information and control, that doesn't mean things don't change. For a small business to continue to be successful, you must be willing to adapt and change. Things always change. The environment, pandemic might happen, things are always changing that may cause you to have to change along with it. Just know that change for the sake of change is also rarely a good thing. You have to have good information. You have to be intentional about the changes you make. And to do that, you have to be able to have good information to make decisions off of. And to be constantly aware of what's going on in your industry and the environment that you're operating in.